All right, let me highlight you something here. This import data command is only importing the data to the student table. Okay, so the command name is import data, but it is only working for the single model, right, which is a student. But what if we have many tables such as student, customer, products, orders, etc., right? So are we going to create a different command for importing the data to each of the tables? No, right? So we must write the code in such a way that one import command should work for every tables or models. Okay, so that is the motive of this video. In this video, let's make our handle function to automatically look for the model and import the data into it. Okay, so from our side, we will only give the CSV path and the model name, or the table name. Okay, so in this case, our proposed command will be python manage.py import data, and then we specify the file path, and then we also tell the model name. Okay, so in this command only, we are going to specify the file path as well as the model name. Okay, so because this import data command should work for all the models in our project. Okay, so let's try to implement this. Okay, so before that, one very important thing you should always remember, your CSV column header must match your database tables field names. Okay, so currently we only have one model, right? What we have to do is we will create another model, right? We'll create another model, and let's say class customer. Okay, we'll create a customer and models.model. Let's say customer ID. We will go with the customer name is equal to models.char field. Okay, let me quickly write this. Okay, so this is models.model. All right, so I will say country is equal to models.char field. Okay, so maybe 20. Okay, so this is just a very simple model. str name will be return self dot customer name. All right, so at this point I will do the make migration python manage.py make migrations. I'll quickly run migrate. Okay, so now we have customer model and the student model. Okay, so this way we can create any number of model in any number of apps. Right now we only have one app, which is data entry, right? So even if we have multiple apps, then also our import data command should be able to look for or the search for that model that we are specifying in the command, right? So anyways, we have two models now, for example. Now what I want to do is I want to run this command with the file path and the model name. Okay, so we will actually make this code a little bit smarter. All right, so what I'm going to do is, as you know, we are taking two keyword arguments, right? One is file path and another one is model name. So here what we need to do, we need to actually take another argument, right? So inside this add arguments. So now here we'll say parser dot add argument. Okay, parser dot add argument. If you want to take another one, you can simply add it here like this. Okay, so that's how you allow the arguments inside the command. Okay, so parser dot add argument. So in our case, we need the model name, right? So the name will be model name, and then type is str, and we'll give a simple help text message, which is can say name of the model. All right, now we got the model name, and we'll receive that model name inside the handle function. So here we'll say model name is equal to how to receive kw args. Okay, inside this kw args we will have the model name. All right, so just copy this and put it here. Okay, So now we have the file path and model name inside the handle function, and then we are going to search for the model inside all the installed apps. Okay, even if we have one single data entry app in our case right now, but in bigger projects there will be a lot of apps, right? So that's why we need to go inside all the apps and see or look for the model name that we are specifying here in the command, right? So that's the reason we will actually say, I'll first comment this. Okay, so this feature is a little bit confusing if you are a beginner, right? So that's why I'm going to say search for the model across all installed apps. Okay, search for models across all installed apps. We are searching for the models that we are specifying inside the command, right? So next we'll say for app config in apps dot get app config. Okay, apps dot get app config. Don't worry, I'll explain this. Now before that we want to import all the apps first. Okay, so here we are actually importing one model, right? But we don't want to import one model because this feature or this command is going to work for all the models. So that's why we are going to say from django.apps import apps. Okay, we are importing all the apps in our Django application. Okay, so this is the way how we import all the apps from django.apps import apps. So now we're looping through all the apps. So here I'm saying apps.getAppConfig. So what this means is, so this get app config will have the metadata of all the apps. Okay, so let me copy this. Okay, let me copy this get app config method, and I'll go to Google and search for this get app config. Go to the first result, and here you will see okay, so this is also the example, but don't worry about that, I'll show you. See here, I just searched for this get app config. Okay, so here it is saying apps.getAppConfigs, right? So it returns an iterable of app config instances. Okay, so this instance will have, if I click on this app config, okay, so this instance will have the configuration objects that store metadata for an application. Okay, it will have all the metadata. That means we are actually interested in taking the app name, right? We are interested in taking the app name. Why? Because we want to go inside that app and search for the model, right? So in order to search for the model, of course we want to go inside every app, right? Because model can be multiple, a lot of model can be there, and a lot of apps also can be there, right? So that is the reason, in order to look for the model, first we have to go inside each app one by one, right? So to get all the apps, we are accessing this apps.getAppConfig. Okay, so this is actually returning the object, and that object will have attributes. Let me show that again. Okay, so this, it will have the metadata attributes. Okay, so here you can see some of the attributes are dot name and dot label and dot verbose name, path, default, and default auto config, right? So these are actually the the attributes that we can access. We are actually interested in taking the label. Okay, so because like this we store inside the settings, right? Okay, like this, right? So that is why we need to access the label. Okay, so here what we are saying, we are looping through all the apps. Okay, so that's why we write apps.getAppConfig. Okay, now here what we will do is we will try to search for the model. Okay, try to search for the model inside the app. Okay, so now we'll take a try block. So we need the model, right? And what we'll do is model is equal to apps.getModel, apps.getModel. Why this get model? So in order to get the model, we need to go to, there is this get model function. Okay, so this get model function will actually take the app name. Okay, it will actually take the app label. Okay, app label, and it will take the model name. Okay, it will take model name. Okay, so app label and model name it will take, and it will return the model. Okay, so now let me show you this get model function. I'll copy this get model and go to this same page. So here in this page, Control F, and you can see get model is here. Let me show you. Wait, let me scroll down. Yeah, here you can see. Okay, so apps.getModel, it is taking app label and it is also taking model name. Okay, so require ready is equal to true, don't worry. So you can, this is optional. Okay, you don't need to specify this require ready equal to true, but these things are important. In order to get the model, you have to give this get model function app label and model name. So here it returns the model with the given app label and the model name. Okay, so that's why we are using get model function. Now we want the app label, right? So what is the app label? It is just the app name. Okay, so how to get the app label now? We have the app config, right? We are looping through this apps.getAppConfig. So this is giving us the attribute. We can access one of the attribute of this object, right? So that this can be anything. Okay, so even if you write for I, this is also going to work. So this, don't worry about this app config. Okay, if you write this I, then here also you write I. Okay, so that's a iterator. Okay, so for app config here, what I'll do is I'll say app config.label. All right, it is also taking the model name. So where is this model name? Here, the model name that we are giving from this model. Okay, so it is taking the model name and it is taking the app config, and it will return the model as per the, as per the documentation. Okay, it should return the model. So that's what we want. Okay, we want the model, right? Why we want the model? We want to store data into the model that we are receiving from here. Okay, because we don't know the model, right? So our code don't know the model. We know the model name, but our code will get the model and put it here. Okay, so once we get the model, okay, so consider there are a lot of model and it is looping through the apps and it is trying to get the model. But if the model is found, then we will break this loop. Okay, we'll say stop. Stop searching. Stop searching once the model is found. Okay, so once the model is found, we don't want to search further. Okay, so in the except block, if we don't get the model, we will actually get the lookup error. Okay, we will get lookup error. How do I know lookup error I'm going to get? Because there is this documentation here in this page. If you search for this lookup error, here you can see apps.getModel, right? So it is taking app label, model name, and returning the model. If we don't get the model, then it raises lookup error if no such application or model exists. Okay, so that's why I'm specifying if we get lookup error. That means if my model does not found, then I'm going to continue searching, right? I'm going to continue searching. Okay, so why I'm going to continue searching? If in one app my model could not found, then I'm going to search for another app, right? Because there can be a multiple apps inside the project. That's why I'm going to continue searching. I'm going to say model not found in this app, continue searching in next app. Okay, continue searching in next app. Okay, so this is actually looping through all the apps. Okay, so that's why inside all the apps we are trying to get the model. If we find the model, then we are going to stop searching. If we don't find the model, then we are going to search in the next app, right? So that is actually the code. Okay, so now what we will do is we'll first handle the error. Okay, so let's consider if we don't find the model in any of the app, right? So that means our model will be empty, right? If not model, if not model. Okay, so and you know what, we are calling this model here. That means this code is going to go here, and that's why we need to initialize this model. Okay, otherwise we'll get error. Model is equal to none. Okay, if we don't find model at all, then we are going to raise the command error. Okay, raise command error, command error. Okay, so command error will actually come from, you know, same place from where we get the base command. Just say command error. Okay, so if the model could not found, then we are raising command error. So in the command error, now what we are going to say, we will say model name, right? Inside the model name, model name not found in any app. Okay, in any app. All right, so this is actually the command error handling. And then if we got the model, then what we are going to do, we are actually going to replace this student with that model that we received here. Okay, so now this will be the correct model that our code knows where to insert. Okay, so here model dot objects create the rows. Okay, and yeah, so that's about the coding part. And as I said before, we should always keep in mind that our CSV column header must match your database tables field names. Okay, so we will actually try the model first. Okay, so currently we know that there's only one app and there is only two models. Okay, so we will try to put the data inside some different model. Let's say test model. Okay, there is no model called test, right? We should get the error now. Line number 22. Okay, let's see what is wrong with this. All right, so this is actually get app configs. It is not get app config, it is a plural. Okay, get app configs. I'm sorry about that. Now let's run it again. Okay, now we got the command error. Model test not found in any app. Of course, we don't have any model called app. I mean test, right? Now this models are actually, they starts from this capital letter, capital S. Okay, so these are actually the capitalized letters. Okay, so for that reason, we will actually make this capital. Okay, so model name dot capitalize. Okay, so that even if you give in a lowercase letter, it will become uppercase. Okay, all right, now command error is working, and now it is the time to test our code, right? So what we'll do is we'll try to import student data to this student model itself. Okay, so because currently I don't have other data here, let me data set. Yeah, I only have student data. Okay, so let's see if that works. All right, I'm going to say Python manage.py import data and this student data and the model, right? So the model will be student. Okay. If you want to make it capital or small, okay, our code is going to handle, all right, using this capitalize method. And I think this should work. All right, let's hit enter. Okay, now you can see data imported from CSV successfully. Okay, so if I want to see Python manage.py run server, okay, let me run. Yeah, here I can see there are a lot of data has been added to the database. Okay, so similarly, all right, I only have students, right? Because I've created the new model customer, but I did not register it inside the admin, so that is the reason it is not showing in the admin panel. Okay. First import customer model and just say admin dot site dot register customer. Okay, admin dot site dot register customer. All right, so now it will work. Okay. So here there is no data yet, so I don't have customer data here. Maybe if you guys have some time, you make a simple CSV file, so have some dummy data inside that. So just make sure that table header or the column header, let me show you this. So the column header is same as, this column header, roll number, name and age is same as this thing, right? Roll number, name and age. Okay, so when you create the customer data from your side, just make sure these column header matches with this one. Okay, so if this is customer name and country, then your column header should also be customer name and country. Okay, so that is one thing. Otherwise your data will be misplaced, or your data can import it into some other fields. Okay, so that is very important thing you should always keep in mind. Okay, so try this. If you get some error or any issues while importing this import data command, just feel free to ask me. Okay, so I'll help you. Okay, so that's about, I hope you understood this code. Okay, if you don't understand, feel free to ask me any questions. All right, so yeah, that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.